Headlines of VTV News. State President calls for better policies in agriculture development. Vietnam to earn carbon exchange credits from forests. And later on in our world news, Arab League calls for a cessation of conflict in Gaza.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time, and this is VTV News coming live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Fatman. Here's the top news of the hour. On the occasion of the 10th anniversary of the establishment of the Vietnam General Association of Agriculture and Rural Development, State President Võ Văn Thưởng met with members of the association. He commended the association for effectively fulfilling its functions and tasks as a social organization in agriculture. It has not only ensured food security and promoted exports, but also contributed to social security and helped the country overcome challenging times. President Võ Văn Thưởng expressed his hope that the association will continue to contribute to the policy-making process by providing opinions and improving development policies for an agriculture sector that produces green, clean and safe products and protects the health of the people. Under the chairmanship of National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ, the National Assembly Standing Committee conducted supervision on the topic of implementation of policies and laws on energy development in the period 2016 to 2021. The monitoring report clearly demonstrates that thanks to the correct strategic orientation of the party, the active participation of the entire political system, and the support of the people, the energy industry has experienced a rapid development, contributing to socio-economic progress. The National Assembly Standing Committee also requested an evaluation of the quality of subsector plans such as coal, oil, and renewable energy, and emphasized the need to address the issue of energy transition while ensuring fairness for all. Chairman Vương Đình Huệ proposed the issuance of a supervision resolution that would highlight major issues and key measures to be implemented in the near future, as well as address shortcomings in sectoral plans and propose solutions for energy infrastructure. Vietnam is emerging as a destination for multiple semiconductor manufacturers. The inauguration ceremony of the semiconductor product factory of Amcor Technology was held in Bắc Ninh province on Wednesday. For the past 55 years, this company has been one of the leading corporations in the United States in the semiconductor product packaging and testing services. In addition, various leading corporations in semiconductor technology are also actively investing in Vietnam.
With a total investment capital of $1.6 billion, the entire factory system on an area of 23 hectares will be the largest semiconductor chip production center in the world in the development network of Amcor Technology. It will be applied in the field of telecommunications, automobiles, and artificial intelligence.
We operate out of 8 countries and we have 20 manufacturing locations already. And Vietnam is strategically a very important location because we see that a lot of the semiconductor ecosystem is shifting into Vietnam. And in order to support our customers present in Vietnam,
various leading corporations in semiconductor technology such as Intel, Samsung, SK, with projects ranging from hundreds of millions to billions of dollars, not only build production and assembly plants, but also participate in technology research and development in Vietnam.
And Vietnam has made notable progress in fostering this catalyst for growth. Vietnam is also emerging as a dynamic player in the global innovation landscape.
According to international microchip associations, if Vietnam does a good job of developing the business ecosystem and the team of chip design engineers and electronic engineers, Vietnam will participate more deeply in the stages of the semiconductor value chain, moving towards self-manufacturing chips from 2030.
We are proposing to build a project to establish chip design centers and training centers for 50,000 engineers and experts in the semiconductor industry so that by 2030 we can achieve that goal of 50,000. Then we will be in a different position, ready to actively participate in the international market.
Joining the global semiconductor market, Vietnam is expected to have billion-dollar opportunities. It is forecast that by 2024, Vietnam's semiconductor industry will exceed $6.16 billion in value. Therefore, Vietnam needs to seize upon opportunities to rapidly develop this field.
The Prime Minister has approved a scheme to upgrade Vietnam's stock market from a marginal to an emerging market. However, to achieve the planned goals, the State Securities Commission requires active and effective collaboration from relevant ministries and branches. Despite various solutions, market rating organizations have not yet approved the upgrade for the Vietnamese stock market. New solutions to address the bottlenecks in upgrading the Vietnamese stock market were discussed at a recent workshop held in Hanoi.
The upgrade of the stock market will bring numerous benefits to Vietnam, such as attracting significant foreign capital inflows amounting to billions of dollars, and attracting a large number of foreign investors. There are two key issues that influence the upgrade of the securities market. One of these issues is that Vietnam needs to ensure it has enough money and securities before trading, as stipulated in Circular 120. At the same time, rating organizations require the elimination of pre-transaction margin requirements.
To solve this problem, we need to expedite the process of entering the KRX trading system, or central counterparty clearing.
When it comes to the issue of foreign ownership limits, there are several proposed solutions. These include implementing non-voting depository receipts, expediting the divestment and equitization processes, and increasing the percentage of foreign ownership shares.
This task is not solely the responsibility of the State Securities Commission. It requires the cooperation of multiple relevant ministries and branches.
Vietnam is considered a frontier market. The International Monetary Fund estimates that the classification of the stock market influences around 70% of capital allocation decisions in securities. According to the World Bank, if the market is upgraded, approximately $7.2 billion USD per year will flow into Vietnam.
The European Commission's delegation has commenced the fourth inspection of activities aimed at combating illegal, unreported and unregulated or IUU fishing in Vietnam, as well as assessing the progress made in implementing previous recommendations by the EC. These measures have been strictly followed by fishing ports and fishermen in 28 coastal provinces and cities across the country over the years. Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu is one of the provinces with a significant fishing output, particularly with its 7 designated fishing ports. It is one of the provinces that will be inspected by the EC delegation in the upcoming round. In 2022, the EC delegation conducted inspections and provided recommendations for Vietnam to urgently address 4 groups of issues, including the legal framework, fleet management, monitoring, inspection, and control of fishing vessels, as well as traceability and law enforcement, which serve as a basis for removing yellow cards. Following the EC inspections, the results of anti-IUU fishing implementation have shown improvement. Specifically, the rate of ship violations has decreased by over 30% compared to the previous year. According to the Provincial Customs Department, agricultural product exports through the Lao Cai border gate have experienced a significant increase since the beginning of the year. Specifically, exports for the first 9 months of this year reached nearly $420 million, marking a 265% increase compared to the same period last year. The value of exported agricultural products alone reached almost $220 million, showing a 155% increase. Customs clearance for dragon fruit, bananas, and watermelon has remained stable. As of October the 10th, over 52,000 tons of durian have been cleared for export to China through the Kim-Thành Road border gate. This is worth over $204 million, making durian the fruit with the largest export turnover through Lào Cai province. The global economy is currently experiencing numerous uncertainties which have had a significant impact on Vietnamese exporters. Orders from major markets such as the US and Europe have not shown any signs of recovery. In this situation, the domestic market has become a lifeline for many export companies. By relying on this market, many enterprises can secure job opportunities for workers and generate revenue for this year.
This enterprise specializes in manufacturing and importing garments and footwear for domestic sales. While their business has faced difficulties since the beginning of this year, it still performs better than many exporters. The enterprise has also increased raw material imports by over 40% to meet the demand of the domestic market.
I anticipate that the year-end period will provide a boost to our business. Many enterprises have exited the market. For those that remain, it is crucial to seize this opportunity to increase sales in the domestic market until the end of the year.
Many major enterprises that previously focused solely on exporting have reorganized their production chains to prioritize both domestic and export sales. This shift is seen as a strategy to ensure sustainable production in the face of global market fluctuations.
Exporters already possess world-class production chains, which would provide them with a significant advantage in accessing supermarket chains in Vietnam. Their products are known for their good quality as well as their stable supply chains, packaging, and traceability. Therefore, they are well equipped to meet domestic demand.
Several solutions are being implemented to support small and medium-sized enterprises and export processing enterprises that encounter challenges in connecting to the domestic supply chain.
Many exporters in Vietnam, including FDI companies such as Uniqlo from the Fast Retail Group, have partnered with the Ministry of Industry and Trade. They have formulated a plan to increase the proportion of made in Vietnam products to 70% within the next 2 years.
Many businesses see the domestic market as a potential opportunity for expanding their production, thanks to its familiar market and consumption habits. Additionally, they have plans to introduce more products that cater to the preferences of Vietnamese consumers.
Ho Chi Minh City aims to become a multi-center urban area by implementing a transit-oriented development or TOD model, as outlined in its general construction plan for 2040 with a vision for 2060. As part of this plan, Thủ Đức City will be developed into a smart, interactive, and innovative urban area in the eastern part of Ho Chi Minh City. Gaza district will be transformed into an ecological urban area, serving as a gateway for international sea trade. To contribute to socio-economic development and alleviate road traffic congestion, Ho Chi Minh City is also focusing on zoning its inland waterway infrastructure system. Furthermore, the city has a comprehensive plan to develop a well-connected transport infrastructure system, ensuring convenient and smooth traffic connections between satellite urban areas. And before we move to the next part of VTV News, let's check out how the Vietnam đồng is weighed against other currencies in the world market today. Coming up next, Quảng Nam province prepares for rainy season. And Vietnam to earn carbon exchange credits from forests. The 11th meeting of the ASEAN Committee on Disaster Management, or ACDM, took place in Hạ Long City, Quảng Ninh Province on October the 13th. More than 168 delegates from ASEAN member countries and its partners, including Japan, China, South Korea, attended the event. ASEAN member countries have made significant progress in the field of natural disaster prevention and control. They have focused on evaluating, supervising, mitigating, and enhancing resilience capacity. As the chair of the ASEAN Committee on Natural Disaster Management, Vietnam has discussed this topic. Specifically, ASEAN member countries have made notable advancements in developing a strategic policy framework for climate change and natural disaster risk reduction. This framework involves state agencies, governments, and local communities taking a multi-sectoral approach. To enhance early action in response to natural disasters, the region adopted the Hạ Long Statement. This declaration is considered a regional foundation for strengthening coordination on financial and technical mechanisms in the ASEAN region to prevent natural disasters. The central region is currently experiencing continuous heavy rainfall. Authorities are closely monitoring the regulation of overflow discharges to prevent floods and ensure the safety of downstream areas. Earlier this morning, the Bản Vẽ hydropower plant in Nghệ An discharged water from its dam at a total flow rate of approximately 602 cubic meter per second. This measure aims to prevent further flooding caused by prolonged heavy rains along the rivers. Today and tomorrow, heavy rainfall is expected to concentrate in the Nghệ An to Quảng Nam region. Specifically, the southern part of Nghệ An to Thừa Thiên Huế will experience heavy rain, with rainfall reaching 200 to 400 millimeters, and in some areas exceeding 500 millimeters. Flood levels on rivers from Quảng Bình to Hà Tĩnh are expected to reach alarm levels 1 to 2. Mountain landslides and flash floods pose threats to people's lives and properties, particularly during the rainy season in the mountainous areas of Quảng Nam Province. To mitigate and proactively respond to these natural disasters, localities in the mountainous regions of the province are currently preparing for potential scenarios and implementing solutions. More in the following report.
Nong Sern district in Quang Nam province frequently experiences severe natural disasters. To address this, local authorities have been implementing safety solutions for several months. These solutions include reinforcing landslide embankment systems as well as adjusting the flow of tributaries and flood drainage ditches. Additionally, the operation of ferry routes has been increased to ensure the absolute safety of people and their properties.
Boats can only be deployed when it is deemed safe. Furthermore, it is mandatory for all individuals on boats and ferries to wear life jackets.
Local authorities also enhance construction inspections and develop solutions to address the consequences of landslides.
This year's rainy and stormy season is expected to be complex and unpredictable. The possibility of flash floods and landslides is a concern for many people in the region. As a result, local authorities prioritize raising awareness of these risks and implementing preventive measures.
The district authorities are remaining vigilant and instructing communes to prioritize the safety of their residents. In areas where there is a risk of landslides, we strongly encourage people to evacuate and relocate to safer areas.
In addition to relocating people, the Quang Nam Steering Committee for Natural Disaster Prevention, Search, and Rescue directs localities to continue monitoring weather conditions. This is to ensure proper responses and minimize damage to people and their properties.
Vietnam's first project aimed at reducing carbon emissions from forests by 10.3 million tons, which is equivalent to 10.3 million carbon credits, has secured 80% of the total funding, totaling over $41 million. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is actively encouraging more forest areas in Vietnam to participate in the carbon credit trading and transfer market, particularly due to the significant potential of Vietnam's forest in this market.
The emission reductions payment agreement signed between 6 provinces in north-central Vietnam and the World Bank in 2020 has resulted in the sale of forest carbon credits totaling over $41 billion. This money will be transferred to the participating localities to compensate forest owners and communities for their efforts in forest management and protection. Additionally, Vietnam is currently in the process of negotiating and signing a trading agreement to transfer over 5 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions reduction from forests in the South Central and Central Highlands region. This agreement is valued at $51.5 million.
In addition to the North Central and Central Highlands regions, many forestry organizations also prioritize other areas in Vietnam, such as mangrove forests and forests in the northern Midlands and mountainous regions. The Forestry Department is continuously advising the Prime Minister on developing a plan to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. The plan aims to safeguard national interests and mobilize financial resources to support forest development.
Lâm Đồng is one of the 2 provinces in Central Highlands that has been participating in the REDD Plus program for 14 years. This program was developed by the Conference of Parties to United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Its aim is to guide forestry activities in developing countries with the goal of reducing emissions and enhancing forest carbon stocks.
In Lâm Đồng, the natural forest areas cover 450,000 hectares. There is a significant number of carbon credits that can be traded within the program's framework. This will serve as a valuable resource for forest management and protection, as well as efforts to combat hunger and reduce poverty in the area.
Vietnam's forests have the potential to reduce emissions by up to 80 million tons annually. After accounting for regional emission reduction commitments, approximately 40 million tons of carbon credits remain. These credits could provide Vietnam with an annual earning of $200 million.
Coming up next in our world news, ceremony held at the United Nations to celebrate ASEAN's 56th founding anniversary. And Arab League calls for cessation of conflict in Gaza. On Wednesday, ASEAN member countries held a ceremony at the United Nations headquarters to commemorate the bloc's 56th founding anniversary. As the rotating chair of ASEAN in 2023, Indonesia Deputy Foreign Minister Pahala Mansuri emphasized the central role of ASEAN as a regional cooperation model. During the ceremony, the president of the 78th UN General Assembly suggested that ASEAN should further showcase its leadership in implementing the Sustainable Development Goals. He also expressed gratitude for ASEAN's support and contributions to the work of the General Assembly. Additionally, the Under-Secretary General of the United Nations highlighted ASEAN's ongoing importance in ensuring peace, security, and sustainable development in the region and the world, especially amidst current challenges.
Your Excellency,
Foreign ministers of Arab countries held an emergency meeting in Cairo, Egypt on Wednesday to discuss the serious armed conflict in the Gaza Strip. Arab League Secretary General Abu Ghaid addressed the meeting, stating that the current escalation of tensions between Palestinians and Israelis is unprecedented. He warned that the situation was at risk of spiraling out of control. According to the Arab League chief, ending the occupation and establishing an independent Palestinian state within the 1967 borders, with the capital in East Jerusalem, is the only way to ensure a secure future for both Palestinians and Israelis. Currently, many countries agree that the resumption of peace talks and negotiations on a two-state solution between Israel and Palestine is necessary to resolve the ongoing conflict in the Gaza Strip. According to the U.S. Labor Department's report on Wednesday, the U.S. Producer Price Index, or PPI, increased by 0.5% in September compared to August. This increase was largely driven by a 5.4% jump in gasoline prices. However, when excluding food and energy, core goods only saw a modest increase of 0.1%, indicating normalized supply chains. The September PPI index, which rose by 2.2% year-on-year, is concerning for the U.S. Federal Reserve. This marks the largest increase since April and surpasses the Fed's 2% target for annual inflation. In response, the Fed leaders believe that maintaining high interest rates is necessary to curb inflation. Amidst this backdrop, the U.S. stock market experienced a cautious trading session, with the major indices all showing slight increases of less than 1%. Mont Blanc, the highest peak in Western Europe, has experienced a loss of over 2 meters or 6.5 feet in the span of 2 years. This decrease in height brings the mountain to its lowest level since precise measurements began 22 years ago. French experts attribute this phenomenon to warmer summers in Europe, which have resulted in a reduction in snowpack size and an increase of rock falls on the mountain. More details in the following.
A team of surveyors, who perform measurements every 2 years in September, announced at a news conference in Chamonix, in the French Alps, that the mountain's height is about 4,806 meters, which is 2.22 meters lower than their previous measurement in September 2021.
Objectively, mathematically speaking, there is a noticeable drop. At 4,805.59 meters, we have achieved unprecedented results. This is the first time we have reached such a low point. While it is possible to rebound a meter or two in the coming months or years, it is important to acknowledge that the current level is still quite low.
Between 2001 and 2013, the height of Mont Blanc measured in September ranged between 4,808 and 4,810 meters. However, since 2013, it has been consistently decreasing and reached a new low this September. The rocky peak of Mont Blanc stands at 4,792 meters, but its total height varies depending on the size of its snowpack.
Clearly, we have temperatures that we have never had before. Should we draw any conclusions from this? Not necessarily. We observe this, we take note, we record it in our databases. And then, with the benefit of the years, we will be able to say and properly conclude whether this is climate change or not. Today, these are still measurements linked to the weather. If we have a moderately hot summer, the mountain will recharge a lot more. So for the moment, we are observing things that are more related to the weather.
Topographers stated that it was not their responsibility to draw conclusions from the data they collected. They mentioned that glaciologists, climate change specialists, and other scientists would propose theories to explain this phenomenon.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4go. Goodbye for now.